You are listening to Unstoppable Actors, the essential podcast for ambitious, unknown actors with me, Louise, the Artistic Director of Standby Method Acting Studio. And for the last 13 years, I've been taking unknown actors with blank CVs all the way to Netflix dramas, Amazon Prime films, TV soaps and stage plays around the world. And every week I'll be talking with you and sharing how you can become a paid working unstoppable actor, because you 1000% can. An acting career is doable. Are you ready to dive into the episode? Hello and welcome to the very first Unstoppable Actors episode of 2026. I'm so excited for this one. And I want to say that I appreciate all of the comments that have been coming in on the episodes across Spotify, our website and Apple. And also thank you for the new ratings that are coming in as well. It's incredibly exciting to open up the podcast and see this. And I want to thank you for your patience. I'm recording this first episode of 2026 on the 9th of January. And I've recorded nearly 300 episodes, I think it is, and I wanted to make sure I wasn't forcing out an episode and that this one would be something that you would get so much from, so many insights, nuggets, tips, things that are going to help you keep propelling forwards with your acting dreams and goals. And I decided to talk about how you can stop wasting time in 2026, the method actor's way to land roles faster. I thought this is a juicy topic. Rather than talking about the business of acting solely, rather than just talking about the craft of acting solely or your mindset, I wanted to combine all three things because they're equally as important as each other. If you've listened to the podcast for a while, you will have heard me talk about the triangle for success. And on the triangle for success, we have mindset, skill set, which is your business of acting skills and also your method acting skills, and then action set, which is you taking regular, consistent action to make those goals happen. So I wanted to combine all three things. But I firstly wanted to get started with New Year's resolutions, because there's a lot of talk at the beginning of a new year about New Year's resolutions. And I think this is one of the reasons I've held off producing an episode so early on in the new year, because I actually don't believe in New Year's resolutions and they're not something that I set for myself. And the reason that I don't believe in New Year's resolutions is because I just don't think they work. There's a lot of data out there that says that they don't. And the reason being is because they rely on motivation. And motivation is something that is fleeting. And so you might be feeling really pumped up right now, and that's so exciting. But here's the thing about that pumped up feeling. It's not going to last forever. So come February and definitely March, what usually happens is that motivation has dwindled and we are well and truly back into the swing of our everyday life. Life is taking over and we can start procrastinating. So I never encourage my acting students to set New Year's resolutions either, because I don't want them to set themselves up for failure. What we instead do inside the 10-week method acting modules is we set learning goals. We don't even set results-based goals. These are really good if you know that your motivation dwindles. Now, some of you listening are going to be absolutely incredible with motivation. And you're going to be one of those people who takes action no matter what. But not everybody is like that. And because motivation is a feeling, we know that feelings change all of the time and it takes discipline to keep taking action. But what we want to do is make things easier for you. So learning-based goals, and I'm going to explain and give you an example of how these work in a moment, but learning-based goals have science behind them. There's an incredible book called Rebel Talent, and I read this years ago, and I always refer back to it because not only am I a method acting coach, I'm also incredibly interested and fascinated in behavioural science and what it is that makes people successful. And in this book, Rebel Talent, the author does studies on people who are successful. And she discovers that there's common traits among successful people. Now, obviously, success is subjective. You have to decide what that means for you. Does success mean feeling creatively fulfilled? Does success to you mean being commercially successful? Does it mean being financially successful with your acting? Is it a combination? Is it getting a specific agent you've got your eyes and heart set on? You know what that means to you. I can't define what success is for you. But in these terms, when I'm talking about success, I'm talking about people who have a combination of all of those things. And one of the common themes that this author discovered is that successful people always want to learn and improve, and that out-trumps everything else. And what she discovered is that when you set results-based goals, you set yourself up for failure because our perfectionistic side can kick in, and then when we don't achieve those goals, we can start beating ourselves up and giving ourselves a hard time. So rather than setting a New Year's resolution about your acting, it's better to set a learning-based goal. So here's an example. A results-based goal would be, I want to get an agent by March 2026. There's nothing wrong with setting that goal, but what are you going to do if that doesn't happen? You're probably going to think you're not good enough, you've done something wrong, you're missing something, and get into those spirals, those negative spirals that are not helpful. And I'm not saying don't have that as a goal, but if we set it to a learning-based goal instead, which would be, I need to learn what it takes to get an agent, then this changes everything. Because what that does, the learning puts the onus back on you. You're more than capable of learning. You can learn what it takes to get an agent. That's easy. And once you've learned it, the psychology is that it feels easier because now you know what you're doing. So then you just have to do it. Whereas if you go in bullheaded and say, I need an agent by 1st of March 2026, you're putting pressure on yourself. You would have to take the steps to learn anyway, but there's no learning in that. It's quite black and white thinking, and we don't want to do that because I don't want you setting yourself up for failure. So if you want to stop wasting time in 2026, the first thing to do is work with your mind and set learning-based goals rather than results-based goals, because they're so much easier to achieve. Because I've been doing this with my students of the 10-week method acting modules for, I would say it's only something that I introduced around maybe 5 or 6 years ago, around that time anyway. In that time, I've noticed a big difference with my acting students since I introduced this way of goal setting, and so many more of them have achieved success in terms of creative fulfillment, getting meatier characters in bigger and better productions, getting the agents of the dreams, getting paid more money. So as an example, my students have done things like Netflix, TV series, TV soaps, a Hollywood film. This is so exciting. And then what that's done, because they've started off with these learning-based goals, is it's then opened doors for even more projects to come in for them that are bigger and better, that keep their acting CV growing with new and fresh credits all the time, that then help them get bigger and better agents. So that's the first thing you need to do. Stop giving yourself a hard time with results-based goals. Set yourself a learning-based goal. Now, the second thing we need to do in 2026, if we're going to stop wasting time, is we have to train. We have to develop our craft. It's a non-negotiable. You have to have talent, because where you are right now in your career, you don't have a name for yourself like someone like Denzel Washington does, or Kate Winslet, or Viola Davis, or Tom Hardy, or whoever it is that you look up to. So at the minute, the only thing that you have to make you stand out is your talent, and this always needs refining and developing. And you need to be training in method acting, because method actors leave no stone unturned when it comes to their character. Method acting is about depth. It's about creating something unique that sticks in the minds of your audiences. And it's why method actors are commercially successful. And it's why you see method actors all over the TV, in films, in Hollywood, in the West End, Broadway, because method acting gives you the skills you need to give you the best chance of succeeding in this industry. Method acting means whilst you're at a level where you don't have a high profile name yet, you are able to give yourself the best opportunity of getting on the radar of the casting directors who can give you that opportunity, that breakthrough in your acting career. And it doesn't matter whether you're brand new to this, you've been auditioning for a while, you're returning from a break, it doesn't matter what level you're at. Method acting is the most incredible acting technique in the world, not just on a subjective level. What I'm saying, it has results. That's what I'm saying when I say you just look around. Wherever you go, there are method actors everywhere. Method actors are working actors. And it makes you a reliable actor so early on in your career. It makes you trustworthy and it makes you worth taking a chance on. So if we are going to stop wasting time in 2026, we've got to combine the business of acting with the craft of acting, method acting and learning-based goals. There's 2 specific exercises within method acting that are really going to help you develop much quicker and also in a way where you increase your stage and screen presence. And they are relaxation and sense memory. So relaxation is not about doing yoga, it's not about doing breathing exercises, it's not about tensing and releasing muscles. These all have their place, they're all useful, but they're not useful slap bang in the middle of a performance where nerves hit, and nerves can hit unexpectedly. Have you ever been in the middle of an audition, halfway through it, or halfway through a stage production, or even a film, and all of a sudden you can't remember the lines? You're like, oh shit, what's the next line? And you can hear the other actor talking, and you think, shit, I don't know the next line. What is it? And you're no longer listening to the other actor, you're just panicking. You are internally having a meltdown because you don't know what that next line is. Well, that's because tension has hit you and now you're nervous. Well, you can't just stop in the middle of an audition and go, oops, I'm so sorry, I can't remember my lines, let me just do some yoga, let me just breathe in and breathe out. No, you can't do that. You're expected to show up and be professional. So what the method's chair relaxation does is it helps you identify the subtle signs that nerves are about to hit and that they're building up inside of you, so you can deal with them before they actually do. So you never get to that point of having a blank mind and thinking, shit, what's my next line? And panicking, thinking, am I ever going to remember it? Or am I just going to be stood on stage or in the middle of an audition like a statue saying nothing? So it helps you identify these subtle signs before the nerves hit you, so you can deal with it before they do, and you can stay in flow and in the zone with your performance. So it teaches you to be proactive, not reactive, which is what a gazillion actors are. They're reactive. They only recognise it once the nerves have hit in, and then they realise they don't know the lines. And this is what we do inside the 10-week method acting programme. We do this for the first hour of every single class. That's how important it is, because once you can be an actor who is relaxed and at ease, you will make deeper character connections. You will never panic or struggle mid-performance. You will believe in yourself. Then the second exercise is sense memory. And sense memory is all about developing your imagination, developing your focus, and being able to create the reality of the character's world. So let's say, for example, you're doing a film and you're filming a scene where you're supposed to be up the top of a super cold mountain. Well, the reality is you're actually not up a super cold mountain, you're in a studio and there's red hot lights on you. Well, then how do you create the cold of the mountain when in reality you're absolutely boiling and you're sweating in your character costume because the lights are so hot? This is where sense memory comes in. So when you use sense memory, you're not pretending you're cold by rubbing your arms, which is known as demonstrating. You're demonstrating to the audience, oh, I'm cold, even though you're really not. You can actually recreate the cold safely, so you behave as if you are cold, not pretending. It's the same with pain, heat. We use sense memory for all these things. So you're never having those awkward moments where you know it's false. You know those moments in the script where you're like, oh God, I really hate this moment because it just feels fake. It feels pretend. I just can't connect to it. Well, with sense memory, you don't get that. You're never aware that you're pretending because you're always living through the imaginary circumstances. And in the 10-week method acting modules, we do this exercise straight after the relaxation one for 10 minutes. So you can create the truth on demand, whether you're in a cold, smelly audition room and you're supposed to be in the Garden of Eden, or you're on set supposedly up the top of a mountain where it's freezing, but actually it's boiling because you're under the lights. You can always create the truth on demand with sense memory. And these are the skills that you need in 2026 to stop you wasting time. I used to have an actor called Ben train with me, and he decided to audition for the 10-week method acting modules, and he was given a place. And one of the first things that I noticed about him is that he did something that a lot of actors do, which is play the emotions really, really, really big. I knew that wasn't going to help his career develop because these big emotions were fake. It was demonstrating. So if he was angry, it was really big shouting. If he was sad, again, it was really big. None of this helps you develop your career because it is just pretending and demonstrating. All that does is it gets you right to the back of the queue, and it makes it harder for you to add credits onto your actor's CV. So with relaxation, with sense memory, and then the other method acting exercises I gave him, we managed to get rid of that habit of playing emotions big and forced and fake, replaced it with credible exercises that got him to have genuine experiences. And what happened next is absolutely incredible. He got a role in a TV soap in the UK called EastEnders. That was incredible. And he did fantastic in that scene. When he sent it to me, I was like, wow, what a journey you've been on. Your acting has improved so much from that very first class, and it really, really had. Now, of course, having a TV soap on your CV is then going to make you a more credible actor. He then got a role in a film which was shown at Cineworld in the UK. Cineworld is a huge chain of cinemas. So this is not an independent cinema, this is a commercial cinema. And slowly his actor's CV started building up with bigger and better credible credits. And then he got offered a self-tape. He did the audition. He put to use all of the exercises that I'd trained him in. He got cast off of that self-tape into a Hollywood film. He was directed by Justin Lin of The Fast and the Furious. Not only was his actor's CV growing and improving with the calibre of credits he had on it, his confidence was, his craft kept growing. And of course, the money that he was earning improved as well. It got bigger. And this takes me back round to deciding what success means to you. Now, if this can happen for Ben, this can happen for you. It can happen for anyone, but you've got to put the work in. And I know that you're more than capable of doing that because the work really means learning. And what did we talk about in the beginning of the episode? Learning goals. Now, if you want to train on that very same programme that Ben did, we've got auditions Sunday the 25th of January, and the course begins Wednesday the 28th of January. If you don't want to waste time in 2026, then go and check out this programme, go and have a read up on it, find out even more about it, more than what I've just shared now. The link is bit.ly/the standby method. I've also left the link underneath in the episode description for you as well. Or I've got something else for you. If you need a little bit more before deciding to join, or audition, for the 10-week method acting module, and you want 2026 to be an unstoppable actor era, then I've created a 15-minute audio, and it's called the Magnetic Actor Activation, and it's absolutely incredible. So inside it, I share secrets that I usually only give to my students on the 10-week method acting modules, techniques that are going to help you step fully into your power, command the room, and become absolutely magnetic on stage and screen. This audio is perfect if you are brand new to acting, you are looking to get an agent or switch agents, or if you're ready to move from student and independent films into TV roles. It's not about hustling, it's not about forcing your way into the industry. It's about attracting bigger, better auditions and roles naturally by cultivating that presence that method actors have, that confidence that they have, that magnetic energy that makes casting directors sit up and take notice. So if you want that magnetic actor audio, click the link in the episode description. I'll see you there.
I've absolutely loved hanging out with you, and I really hope you found this episode inspiring. If you have, please do rate the podcast and hit follow so you never miss an episode and I can help more actors like you. And come and join one of the most supportive, uplifting acting communities on socials, the Unstoppable Actors Facebook group, where you'll get your weekly injection of inspiration, networking, and receive your free Method Actors Handbook so you can become an unstoppable actor.